to start trading in the stock market and subsequently continue with the trading of securities under this. First and foremost, what is the meaning of margin requirement? In the last point, you can see that this means the percentage of marginable securities that an investor must pay with his or her own cash. So this is the amount which the investor needs to furnish from his or her own sources so as to begin and continue trading in the market. This also means that the broker can extend some credit, some percentage credit to the investor if the investor falls short of funds. So let's move further and explore what does forwarding or extending of margin by the broker means. So we were talking about the types of margin in the Indian stock market, and there are number of margins which are levied as per the case. First is the gross exposure margin. Now it is payable on daily basis and it is paid in advance of the transactions. And if you see the literal meaning, exposure margin, this means that the amount which is open on a particular day, for that amount the broker needs to furnish some security to the stock market, to the stock exchange, okay, which is a security that the particular transaction will be settled. Now, if the market is asking for margin from the broker, then it means that the broker will subsequently ask for margin from the investor. So, exposure margin is paid in advance of the transaction, while there is another margin which is the daily or initial margin, which is collected at the end of the trading day. So one margin is at the start of the trading day, the other is at the end of the trading day, and brokers are required to collect this margin, which is the initial margin. Now broker is collecting this from the investor. Now that investor can be buyer in the buy position or in the sell position. Now daily margins are collected so as to ensure that the investor is serious about the performance of the contract. So gross exposure is from the stock market to the broker, while initial margin is from the broker to the investor. Moving further, then there is a special margin. Special margins are imposed by the stock exchange on the broker to keep a check on the speculative activities in a particular stock. So if there is any abnormal movement in the price or volume of a particular stock, then to continue trading in that stock, a special margin is required to be submitted by the broker to the stock exchange. Then we have done MTM in detail in investment also, but I'll take up this again because there are a few students who have joined us in this semester itself. So marking to market margin is actually applicable to the futures and options segment of the market, which is the derivative segment of the market, and more specifically MTM margin is for the future contracts. So if an investor is trading in the future segment of the stock market, then this is one more margin that needs to be maintained by the investor. This is collected at the end of each trading day on all the open positions. Also, MTM is a zero sum game. Whatever the investor, the buyer gains is the loss of the seller, and whatever be the seller's gain at the end of the day is offset by the loss of the buyer. Now, marking to market basically means if even if you enter into a derivative contract for the shortest duration, then say it is of 30 days. I hope all of us are clear that a future contract is when you enter into the transaction today. That is, say on the 29th of January, you enter into a contract to buy Reliance Industries futures. Hypothetically, say 1 month RIL futures for rupees 300. Okay, now this means that the party has entered into the contract today, but this future contract will be settled 1 month later. The price, the quantity of shares have already been logged in, but the actual exchange of cash and securities will take place at the end of the first month. So during these 30 days, okay, and say the trading days during this month are around 23 or 24. During these 24 days, at the end of each day, on all the open positions, MTM needs to be maintained. Now, how does this work? I'm taking up a simple example. A buyer purchased 1000 shares at the rate rupees 100 at 11 a.m. on January 1, 2008. If the closing price on that day happens to be rupees 75, then the buyer faces a notional loss of 25,000. Now, say at the start of the trading day in the morning around 9:30, you purchase 1000 shares, 1000 shares under a future contract at the rate rupees 100. Now, the total value of your transaction is rupees 1 lakh. But by the end of the day, the price of the same share falls from rupees 100 to rupees 75. So now the value of your transaction at the end of the day is 75,000, and you have suffered a notional loss of rupees 25,000. This also means that the opposite party, the counterparty, that is the seller, at the end of the day has made a notional profit of rupees 25,000, because instead of buying those shares from the market at 100 and selling them to you at rupees 100, now he can buy the shares at rupees 75 and sell those shares to you at rupees 100. So the MTM loss of the buyer is exactly equal to the MTM profit of the seller. Now, after this, there is a further fall in the price of this share, and the loss, notional loss at the end of the second day is rupees 5,000. Okay, so if a trend continues in the market, a downward trend, then the buyer is making notional loss, which is exactly equal to the notional profit of the seller. Okay, because just remember this transaction, this future transaction will be settled after 1 month. तो सेलर को तो 100 रुपीज पर शेयर मिलना ही है. अब मार्केट प्राइस जितना ज्यादा फॉल होगा उतना सेलर के लिए फायदा है. If the price reaches 70, 80, then the seller will buy at a cheaper price from the market and deliver the shares at rupees 100. And vice versa will be the case if there is a price rise in the market. So let's look at a proper example where you will be given the movements for 5 days and you need to calculate the MTM margin. So this is the same question which we have done in investment also. On 1st December 2014, around 11:30, you buy Hindalco future for rupees 165. In this case, the lot size is 2000. 2000 means that you can enter into futures for Hindalco in multiples of 2000. 4 days later, you decide to square off the position. Now, you're not waiting for the expiry of the contract. You decide to settle the contract by selling this future contract at rupees 170.10. Squaring of position is to take a counter position, opposite position in the contract. तो पहले आपने बाय करा है और अब आप सेल कर रहे हो at 170. So your profit is 10,200 at the end day, that is the 4th December 2014. But for 4 working days, you were in the future contract, and each day the value of Hindalco future has shown some movement. So, what your account looks like at the end of the 4th day during this duration, that is what we will be calculating. So you're given the closing price for each day. Now remember, you entered into the contract at rupees 165. You were in the buyer position. Now at the end of the first day itself, the value of the share has risen to 168.3. So now the investor has made a clean profit. The buyer has made a clean profit of 3 rupees 30 paisa on each share. Lot size 2000. तो profit कितना हो गया buyer का notional profit 6600. And what is the notional loss of the seller? Same amount 6600. So what is the exchange doing? Now, at the end of the day, 6600 needs to be transferred from the account of the seller to the account of the buyer. Okay, and obviously no buyer knows who the seller is, no seller knows who the buyer is. So whatever exchange is taking place, it is taking place through the respective brokers. Buyers and sellers cannot identify each other because everything is online. So it is only through the brokers that this movement of notional loss from the seller's account to the buyer's account takes place. Okay, so counterparty जो लॉस इनकर कर रही है वो पैसा ट्रांसफर करेगी अपने अकाउंट के थ्रू टू दी रिस्पेक्टिव ब्रोकर. ब्रोकर आगे बायर के ब्रोकर को ट्रांसफर करता है एंड देन अल्टीमेटली इट इज क्रेडिटेड टू द अकाउंट ऑफ द बायर. Okay, now this continues for 4 days. But what we need to know is से आपने 2 दिसंबर का चेक करना है. 1 दिसंबर को पोजीशन क्लोज हो गई. अब 2 दिसंबर को क्लोजिंग प्राइस इज 172.4. Again, there has been an increase in the price of the share price of Hindalco Future. Again, there is a notional profit for the buyer and notional loss for the seller. But what do we see now? We compare today's closing price with previous day's closing price. We forget the original purchase price. Closing of each day is compared with the opening of that day or the closing of previous day to see what kind of profit or loss has been made. So for this particular day, 2nd December, the profit will be 4 rupees 1 paisa. Lot size 2000. So now 8200 will be the profit that the buyer will be making on the second day, and the seller will be making this loss. Okay, and this amount will be transferred from the seller's account to the buyer's account. So what we can do is that for the 4 days, just complete this table. So ultimately, this is the closing price. Okay, you are given the closing price here. So you need to calculate step by step MTM for each day. You can start this. We have already calculated. Calculate for the other 2 days.
Ma'am, it's done.
So for last day, 4th December, you are ending your contract or settling your contract at 170.1. Okay, so there's no need to consider the closing price for that day. So yes, if anyone has solved, we'll put in the values here. For the third day, how much is the MTM coming to?
Ma'am, loss for the buyer is 1600.
1600.
Yes, ma'am.
So this will be 1600. And last,
I actually took 1.7, but because the closing amount was 171.
so that will be a loss. How much have you taken? 1 point?
7.
No, it will be 1.5.
Fourth day के लिए मैम.
फोर्थ डे के लिए. हाँ बेटा. 171 से आपका जो शेयर है that has fallen to 170.1 when you are
Oh, sorry.
settling the
Right, ma'am.
contract.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Because please correct that.
0.1. Yes, ma'am, 1.5.
Okay, so now you multiply 1.
3,000, ma'am.
Yeah, 3000, और अब इसका आप टोटल भी चेक कर लो.
Yes, ma'am. 16,200.
माइनस वाला कर लिया आपने?
Yes, ma'am.
नहीं, 16,000 तो नहीं आएगा. लास्ट टू वैल्यूज आर इन नेगेटिव.
Oh, sorry. But, ma'am, why the last two values are in negative? Just a quick
Because
question.
this is the loss for the buyer.
Yeah,
Prices
but,
have fallen. Now he will be transferring the amount to the seller.
ma'am, because the closing price is greater than, sorry, less than the last price that we have considered. So what?
Yes, yes. Everything is being done from the perspective of the buyer. Okay, this is the account of the buyer. So initial 2 days, buyer is making MTM profit, and last 2 days he is having a loss. Was the price of the share, price of the future contract has fallen. Okay, so you see that ultimately the total profit is 10,200, which we had calculated at the very start. But on everyday basis, this is being earned by the buyer. So it's not a direct calculation, but everyday maintenance of margin in both the parties' account. So I hope this is clear. MTM is clear to everyone. Next, we move to value at risk margin. Now, value at risk margin is again a margin which is on the outstanding position, but it covers 99%, or the basically the largest possible loss, probability of loss of value of an asset based on 99% confidence level. A VAR margin is a margin intended to cover the largest loss which may be faced by an investor on a single day with 99% confidence level. So this is paid upfront at the time of trade. Now look, all these calculations are being made through softwares. Okay, everything is online. You're using softwares, the stock exchange. So at the start of the trade, this is paid upfront by the parties involved. Okay, so that there is a security that the contract entered into will be honored by both the parties. So to understand it further, we take the example. Say investor has bought shares worth 50 lakhs today, and through the VAR methodology, the first day VAR is 4 lakh at 99% confidence level. What does this mean? This means that with 99% confidence, the investor can say that the market would not go down by more than rupees 4 lakh. So the maximum possible loss with 99% confidence in this share on the first day is 4 lakh rupees. So what the exchange does is it makes sure that this margin is paid upfront by the buyer, because जो भी पार्टी लॉस में हो वहां पर रिस्क हो जाता है दैट इट विल नॉट परफॉर्म द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो जब आप अप फ्रंट स्टार्टिंग में ही उनसे मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल लॉस का पैसा ले लेते हो, देन यू एंश्योर द कंटिन्यूटी ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन. The settlement period is T plus 2 days. सो फर्स्ट डे फ्लक्चुएशन से कोई पार्टी या फर्स्ट सेकेंड डे जो भी वन डे फ्लक्चुएशन है उससे पार्टी डीमोटिवेट ना हो जाए टू परफॉर्म द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. So VAR margin is collected upfront by the market. Okay, so these are some of the types of margins which are collected. If anyone is following the market, then there is a new margin which has been implemented in last December. Can anyone tell me if anyone has heard about the new margin? So what I'll do is I'll just introduce the margin to you. This is mandated by SEBI, and this has been done to avoid the misuse of securities of the investor by the broker. Avoid the speculative activities by the broker. Now, this is the margin. This margin is known as peak margin or end of the day margin. It's not an alternate name end of the day margin, but peak margin जब भी collect करते हैं उसको end of the day margin से compare करते हैं. So what I'll give you as homework, if some of you can read about this peak margin, because this is a very latest development in our stock market, and just last December, with effect from 1st December 2020, this margin has been introduced. So read about this, you'll get a good content on the net. ET, Mint, बिजनेस टाइम्स, फाइनेंशियल टाइम्स, जो भी आप ओपन करते हो आपको आर्काइव्स में इसके बारे में मिल जाएगा. रीड अबाउट दिस, वील डिस्कस दिस ऑन मंडे. Okay, moving further. Very general topic, how to trade in the Indian share market. So first and foremost, you should have a valid PAN card. Then to enter into the market, you need a broker, and as told yesterday, you can choose a full service broker or a discount broker. Once you get into contact with your broker, next thing is that you will need a demat and trading account. So demat account is like your bank account, which shows you how many shares are being held in your name. So it is like your passbook, which is showing you the activities made in your account, how much shares have been debited, buy or sell, कितने shares हुए हैं over a period of time. Individual retail investor cannot enter the market without a broker. Okay, you should be registered participant with the stock exchange. Only then can you enter the market. Okay, so once you have your demat account, you also need to enable your trading account. तो बेसिकली कॉम्बो ही होता है जब आप ब्रोकर से अप्रूव कराते हो अपना अकाउंट, तो वहां पर आपसे ऑप्शंस पूछ ली जाती हैं, whether you are interested in trading in the equity segment or equity plus commodity plus forex. तो उस हिसाब से आपसे चार्ज किया जाता है for your demat plus trading account. Okay, you need both these accounts to start trading. A single demat account won't suffice. You need trading permission. उसके लिए trading account भी open होता है, and then you can start investing once your paperwork is complete, verification is complete. आपका आधार कार्ड भी मांगा जाता है, पैन कार्ड भी मांगा जाता है, cancelled check, signature, everything is asked, everything is then verified, and then you can start trading in the market. Okay. Next, we come to the topic of margin trading. Now, margin trading is important from practical point of view also, because generally one practical question comes every time from margin trading. So please try and understand. मार्जिन ट्रेडिंग बेसिकली अभी तक आपने देखा मार्जिन वो अमाउंट है जो इन्वेस्टर needs to bring from his own sources to start trading in the market. When the broker extends some credit to the investor, or the investor is borrowing money from the broker to buy stocks, then this entire process is known as margin trading. So you as an investor want to trade in some stocks, but you are not having enough margin on your own. You can borrow money from the broker. Obviously, broker is going to charge you interest on the funds borrowed, and this entire process is known as margin trading. Very simple example is given. Now you need to invest in shares of a company which are trading at 50 per share. Now you need 5,000 rupees, and you have 5,000 with you. 50 का शेयर है, आपने 100 शेयर्स बाय कर लिए, बट यू फील कि इस शेयर में पोटेंशियल है, आई नीड 100 मोर शेयर्स, but you're not having money for that. You can ask your broker to lend you 5,000 rupees to purchase another 100 shares in this security. So this entire arrangement is known as margin trading. Once your margin account, now for this you need to open a margin account with the broker, and you can borrow up to 50% of the purchase price of the stock. So now continuing with the same example, say the share which you purchased at rupees 50, now the market price has increased to rupees 100. आपके पास 200 शेयर्स हैं और 100% आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट में ग्रोथ है. Price of the share has doubled. Now out of this 20,000 which you have as the value of transaction, 20,000 आपने initial purchase amount of the shares was 10,000. Purchase price of the shares was 10,000, and now the value of these securities has increased to 20,000. So now there is a profit of 10,000, but इस 10,000 प्रॉफिट में से 5,000 रुपए आपको पहले ब्रोकर को वापस करना है, और इस 5,000 को प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट के साथ आपको इंटरेस्ट भी वापस करना पड़ेगा. Okay, so you have still made a profit because you borrowed from the broker. You will need to return back 5,000 and the interest amount, but still you have made profit. This is the case of a positive consequence of margin trading. Obviously, it's very risky, especially if you make losses. अगर यही 50 फॉल होके 25 हो जाता है तो अपना पैसा तो आपका डूबेगा ही, but you have also borrowed money on which you have to pay interest. So your loss is magnified. So these aspects need to be weighed in by the investor when he or she is choosing to go for margin trading.